Shut the f up. I don't give a f, dude. Look at this. Look at this. He's fighting a professional boxer.
Joe Rogan just boxed Jake Paul's ear off after he canceled his fight with Mike Tyson. For months, the hype for Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson was real, but it looks like this fight has fallen through and it has rubbed Rogan the wrong way. The UFC commentator has been against this matchup since day one, and he could see it falling into jeopardy from miles away. So why is he fired up now? Joe is taking shots at Jake, and they're not just his usual verbal smackdowns, it's a whole different story this time. Buckle up, because I've got the whole scoop right here for you.
That Mike Tyson's the best heavyweight of all time. I don't think anybody f***s with him.
Joe Rogan was never one to hop on the Jake Paul hype train. He has been against the YouTuber turned boxer ever since he came into the boxing scene, and had been labeling him as a fraud. It only got worse when Jake revealed he was stepping into the ring with none other than the boxing legend, Mike Tyson. Love him or hate him, you can't deny that Jake hasn't been making waves in the boxing world. Ever since he made the big switch, his audacious call-outs and controversial wins were all anyone could talk about but a fight with Mike Tyson. That's where Jake proved that he's completely out of his mind.
Mike.
No.
Yeah, he wants to fight Mike, I think.
Why?
I don't know.
I don't give a f if he's 55.
You don't just wake up one day and decide you want to step into the ring with Mike Tyson, especially when you're Jake Paul and have only been boxing for a couple of years. This announcement sent the entire fight world into a frenzy, and if you're one of the few who didn't already hate Jake Paul, I'm sure this fight announcement changed that for you. Don't get me wrong, I get that the kid is a good boxer, but knocking out a couple of retired MMA stars and basketball players doesn't mean you challenge the baddest man on the planet. The problem child really bitten off more than he could chew with this one, and that's why Joe Rogan had been shouting from the rooftops that this matchup is nothing but a terrible mistake. And guess what happens when you ignore Joe Rogan's brutal warnings? You regret it. The YouTuber turned boxer has been crying wolf over this matchup. But this is where it gets interesting. Looks like his prayers for an escape plan have finally worked because Mike Tyson just dropped the bombshell. He's not going to be stepping into the ring anytime soon. Everyone's greatest nightmares came to life when Iron Mike suffered an unexpected health emergency on a cross-country flight from Miami to Los Angeles. The last thing anyone wants is for the boxing legend to get sick because of a fight with a wannabe boxer. That's what they've been calling him lately, and I'm not complaining. Joe Rogan is tight with Mike Tyson. I mean, you can pretty much say that he's the president of the Mike Tyson fan club. So when Mike got into the hospital because of the upcoming bout, he was pissed. As for Jake, he only made things worse for himself when he revealed that he didn't really care about Tyson's health. He's only in it for two things, the stardom and the big bucks. Come on, Jake. Can you possibly make fans hate you anymore? He's just making it easier. The UFC commentator has exposed Paul for being a fraud and a master manipulator. Think about it. Paul's entire career in boxing is nothing more than him deceiving fans into thinking he's a real boxer just because he knocked out a bunch of dudes in the ring. He can fool anyone he wants, but Joe's not falling for his traps. Joe's known for his no-nonsense approach to all things boxing and MMA. He never holds back when it comes to sharing his 2 cents with the fight world, and this guy isn't afraid of anything. So when it came to exposing Jake Paul and his money-hungry tactics, Joe went into all the dirty deets. It was sure as hell a spicy conversation for him to have and fueled the fire by taking his beef with Paul to a whole new level.
Like, if he was going to fight anybody else, people would watch, but would the same amount of people watch? No.
No.
This is the one. And this is the one where the old heads are all sitting around like going, well, fucking wait till he gets a hold of Mike Tyson. Boy, he's going to regret that. And all the old guys are like pulling for him.
It's no shocker that Mike Tyson versus Jake Paul is a big money fight. Here's the thing. Even if he's nothing more than a wannabe pro boxer, Jake's got an audience and he sure as hell knows how to sell PPVs. This guy always goes to extremes to build up hype for his fight and doesn't shy away from stirring up controversy to stay in the spotlight. Fans love a little drama outside the ring, so everyone tags along for the ride. There's no denying that Jake Paul is a PPV superstar. Let's talk about his fight with Tommy Fury. It was easily the biggest and toughest fight of his career to date. The build-up to fight night everything, and the drama between the Fury family and Paul, kept all of us on our tippy toes. In terms of PPV, it was one of the biggest PPV boxing events of 2023. The fight grossed over $30 million, and even in the boxing world, that's a lot of money. Jake Paul versus Mike Tyson was set to be even bigger. Come on, it's only the best heavyweight of all time stepping into the ring for his epic comeback. Of course, the whole fight world is going to tune in. Jake really attracted all audiences with this one. The old dudes never pay to watch influencers like Jake fight. Who wants to watch a Disney kid in the ring? But with Mike Tyson's name on the poster, you can only bet how many more people were going to watch Jake fight in the ring. The problem child is really milking the sport for fame and cash with this one. Plus, let's not forget that this fight even caught Netflix's eye, and they agreed to stream the fight as the first live sport on their streaming platform. But is all the money in the world enough for Jake to step into the ring and let Mike Tyson absolutely destroy him in front of the entire fight world? Come on. Jake is out there risking his dignity for a couple of $1 million. Good thing Mike's health hiccup has helped the problem child save face. This fight won't be seeing the light of day anytime soon. With his ulcers flaring up, it's risky as hell for Mike to jump back into training. Before this health issue hit him like a slap in the face, Tyson was gearing up like a beast.
Day 2, we're getting ready for you. One, two, three, four.
I bet Jake Paul is thanking God this fight is well out of the way now. After Mike pulled out, Jake took verbal jabs at him and was mad as hell. Not because the athlete fell sick, but because he lost his big bag and missed out on a huge payday. That's not good sportsmanship, and Joe's calling the athlete out for it. Now, you're in for disappointment if you expect good sportsmanship from Paul, and everyone knows it. He's built a career over the loss of retired athletes, and you and I both know that won't take him too far. Seasoned boxers have always rolled eyes at all of Jake's matchups ever since his pro boxing debut. Critics have always said, Jake Paul is smart. He's picking opponents that generate buzz but aren't necessarily the toughest competition. It all started when Jake stepped into the ring with Ben Askren in April 2021. Now, Ben isn't a boxing pro, he's an MMA guy and was never known for sending opponents crashing down to the canvas. Jake's boxing debut got him a first-round KO victory, and ever since then he's been thinking he's all that. Come on, knocking out an MMA dude doesn't make you a real boxer now, does it? It didn't end here. This was the start of Jake's well-orchestrated charade where he handpicked weak opponents to knock them out in the ring. From start to finish, his opponents were either old and retired or didn't have a boxing background at all. You could hear critics and commentators screaming, "It's hard to take him seriously as a boxer until he fights someone with real boxing credentials." That's when Jake decided to take up a real challenge for the first time and fought Tommy Fury. Tommy's a legitimate boxer, but he's not the best out there. Yeah, he pretty much grew up in the ring, but that doesn't mean he's a world champion. He's far away from it and pretty much still a fresh name. They put up a good fight, but Jake was handed the first loss of his career in his first fight with an actual pro. Yeah, that didn't end up looking good on his resume. After his loss, Jake went back to basics and nitpicked old MMA dudes to fight again. That was pretty expected. Jake can't keep up this act to be a legitimate boxer for long. Boxing pros never fell for it, and soon enough fans will catch on to it too. It's important to understand the business side of boxing. Jake Paul's approach is unorthodox, but it has brought significant attention and revenue to the sport. His fights draw massive audiences, both in person and via pay-per-view. That's what Joe is against the most. If boxing isn't about money and fame, it was never about money and fame. But ever since Jake entered the sport, there's been a rise in influencer boxing, and influencer boxing is pretty much a joke compared to real boxing. Real boxing fans can't even imagine Mike Tyson and Jake Paul in a boxing ring. Jake hasn't done anything impressive enough to earn a shot against the best boxer in the whole world. Mike shouldn't fight him just because this fight is good money. Influencer boxing and exhibition fights are taking away from the true beauty of the sport, and that's why Joe Rogan is all fired up. So there you go, Fight World, that's all I have for you today. What are your thoughts on Jake Paul getting attacked by Joe Rogan? Do you consider Paul a legitimate boxer? Fill the comment section with your thoughts. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to the channel for more boxing news. See you in the next video.